in starting game 2.
All right, so Chase is going to keep that 6. He's going to start with a polluted Delta and pass to Tyler. Tyler's going to lead on Ragavan.
Is that a Kahir?
Yes.
Cool. A Rogring Triome. That is the Jeskai Triome. Looks pretty shiny from here. I don't know what's in Chase's build. I do know that last time you and I are on stream, we did see a Elspeth Sons champion out of Chase's deck.
I think last week I got to relate to Chase how excited we were to see Elspeth, and I think it made his day.
That's awesome. That makes me really happy. If we see another one, we've just got to always have him on stream. Like it's just gotta make we gotta make it a mainstay.
That's job security. If you put Elspeth in
I guess I'll put Elspeth in my deck.
Yeah. I'd like to be featured
That's
tonight.
A fetch.
Show me the Elspeth.
All right, what do you think? A Fire Ice?
Yeah.
I think we'll see a Fire Ice. No, it's not.
Just a fetch.
What is that?
I guess
know it's a Triome, but what is it?
I think
is it the Teamer Triome?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's hard to tell with all the alternate. I think it's Ketria Triome.
Ketria, that is right. Yeah.
So this is the thing. I know what the...
Is that a leyline binding?
That is a leyline binding on Ragavan.
All right, then. Maybe it's not.
No,
is it? Oh, yeah, I guess it is. So it'd be blue, white, green? That's the band. So it'd be the band Triome.
No, because it's Rogrin Triome is on the field, so it's got to have black.
Because he tapped 2 mana for it.
But the Triome enters...
Oh, I don't know that.
Tapped.
Who knows? Savai Triome?
Could be Savai. Could be Rafine's Tower. No, I don't think Rafine's Tower has that art.
Anybody knows?
Oh, it's the Zagoth Triome. Zagoth.
Oh, because
it's the Sultai one.
Yeah, okay. I thought the Zagoth Triome looked different, but I could be wrong. Teferi, Time Raveler.
Yep.
Gonna bounce a Dothy.
Alright.
No?
And then,
get that guy out of here.
The static ability is going to prevent Tyler from scamming.
That's exciting. Swamp? I can't see any of the cards in Tyler's hand. That is a Bowmaster. Gonna ping the Teferi. Gonna make a 1/1 Guy token. I don't know who that is.
Orc Army.
No, I know what that is. I mean, who is that?
It's a guy.
Can we get an enhance? Yeah, we got a 1/1 Orcish army.
I can get some of my grad students on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I work in the optics department. I think we can get a good zooming setup.
Ooh. There it is. The creator of the Guy token, Orcish Bowmasters, everywhere in this format.
Yep.
We've actually been trying to avoid getting scam on stream. And up until this point, we have. Remember last time you and I were streaming it? We had how many times did we?
I think we had 4 featured.
3.
Well, it was 3 matches, but 4 decks,
right.
Or 4 players.
Okay, there you go.
I played Scam twice last week.
All right,
which was
Counterspell on Dothy. A Thoughtseize coming back. We see Subtlety, Solitude, and that new Supreme Verdict art that I'm very jealous of. Yeah, he's got all the max art cards.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. Chase, if you're listening to this later, I love it.
If you're listening right now. Alright, so Chase finds the 4th land and passes the turn. Holding up Subtlety.
Yep, we're going to counter a creature with that, I bet. I mean, well, tempo a creature, I guess. Another Thoughtseize. Unfortunate. Do you put the Subtlety on the stack and let him take the Solitude, or do you give him the option?
I think I do. I think there's a reasonable chance that Solitude is the take anyways.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty good card in this matchup.
Yep.
Putting Subtlety on the field also allows for blockers, which prevents Tyler from getting in and chipping away at Chase's life total.
Mm-hmm. Fury, pitch Fury, get rid of that Subtlety, get in for 2. I don't know what that is.
That's not dead after all.
Oh,
so that's
okay.
the new scam effect from Wilds of Eldraine.
Yep, the one that made it a mainstay.
The abbreviation for the set is WoW. I keep wanting to call the set WoW of Eldraine.
I support you. WoW of Eldraine.
What does WoW stand for? WoW of Eldraine.
Sometimes they nail it with the 3-letter acronyms.
They do, yeah.
I think that's one of them.
I think WoW is fantastic.
Ow.
Yeah.
Mom,
March of Machines.
Yeah, March of Machines.
And notably we had like a lot of Elish Norn in that set.
Yes,
so
yeah.
I'm a fan.
Was that Elish Norn, Mother of Machines, like the actual card name?
I don't know. Would you like to look?
I don't know.
Tyler did, in fact.
That was the game. That was Tyler
Yeah.
takes it with the Scammed Fury, stripping Chase of resources and crashing in for lethal.
It's not that after all. Does that give it haste?
No, it gives it +1/+1.
Yep.
Or a +1/+1 counter. It also gives it a Wicked enchantment aura.
Mm-hmm.
Which
when it enters the battlefield, they lose 1. Right?
When it leaves the battlefield,
okay.
I died to that last week, so I got a bit of practice in against Scam, which I'm going to need for tomorrow. I had 2 games against 2 different Scam opponents, and I want to say it was the last round of my first match against Scam. I blocked a Fury with a Murktide. I was at 1, and it had the aura on it, and I died.
Excellent. What a way to go.
Yeah. It's kind of I assume it wasn't intentional, but it's kind of a funny coincidence that a brand new Scam effect happened to be a strictly better one. Coming out at a time when...
Yeah. It's when Scam
is the
good.
top dog of the format, yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, all right, we'll just give Murktide Preordain.
Yeah, and it's fine.
Yeah, I like the Preordain unban, but
Love the Preordain.
boy howdy is their banning philosophy not.
If anyone at Wizards is listening and they feel like unbanning Ponder, you've got endorsement from me.
I do not endorse that. Respectfully. As much as I love Ponder, I do not endorse that. I do endorse banning all the Evoke Elementals.
Honestly, I'm fine. I can go either way. I think it's because I play Murktide. Like, if things stay, I'll deal with them. If they don't, that's fine too.
Would you like to test the Murktide versus 4-color matchup later?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do it. There you go, guys. You can watch that.
Could use the practice.
Yeah.
Although it'll have to be dependent on whether or not Matt is finishing up his game.
We'll see.
So I think that's probably what I'll run into at the RCQ tomorrow. A lot of Scam.
Yes,
A lot of beans.
I think that the primary part of Modern that's going to be the most relevant here is like Scam is obviously going to be the deck to beat.
Mm-hmm.
Having a plan for that, and that's the largest reason in which I recommend playing Subtleties. At least a handful on the main, or I'm sorry, in the side.
I do have one on the side.
If you need more, let me know. I have some you can lend. But just being able to save yourself from a grief on turn 1, making them go down a card instead.
Yeah,
that's very, very relevant and very powerful. And putting yourself in the position to where like you get to be at parity much faster and have them not Thoughtseize you twice. I think that Scam is going to be the biggest thing you're going to run into, and then a lot of people are playing footballs, playing the Rhinos deck as sort of a tempo strategy because it feels better against Scam.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, I think that the footballs deck is less powerful than the Beans deck, and I think Beans is just. I mean, you guys have seen on camera tonight, just the amount of leverage and capability to just answer everything.
Yeah. I think Rhinos is a bit of a challenging matchup for Murktide. It's not unwinnable by any means, but I think the fact that their deck naturally has a higher curve than yours, having a more powerful top end is pretty tough to deal with at times.
I think that also kind of lines up to you can just put a for 1 mana on turn 1, you can just put a Crashing Footfalls into play and let that
Yep.
just tick down over
Yep.
time. And Murktide is definitely not going to kill you before that comes off.
Nope.
And when that spell gets put on the stack later, Murktide, like, you have to spend mana in order to interact with all of the spells, and that's why I think that the 4-color matchup is tough, and I think that the Crushing Footballs matchup can be tough too, because the interaction is often free for Murktide or for Footfalls, and with Murktide, despite your spells being 1 to 2 mana, that's still 1 to 2 mana more than what your opponent's doing. So, as long as you're running on all cylinders with Expressive Iteration, Darcy, Baubles, Preordains, you can play through it and get out of it, like we've said, but you're going to be on your back foot.
All right, so we're back here with game 2. We're seeing Chase lead on a Triome and Tyler lead on a Ragavan.
Both players doing what they want to do. I guess Tyler would probably rather be scamming, but
No, I think Ragavan seems like a pretty reasonable answer against
no attack. Okay, there you go.
Or a reasonable start against the control deck. I mean, it's at best trading 1 for 1. Whereas, if Chase has an answer to Grief on turn 1, then it's, Tyler's gone down like 2 or 3 cards with the pitch and the scam effect. And Chase's deck is pretty well suited to deal with those elementals with all the solitudes and the leyline bindings.
Absolutely.
So I think Ragavan is, maybe it is where you want to be on scam against control. Also, with the treasure, big mana advantage.
I think so. A lot of times in control, from experience, I've found out over the years that you have to boil down your opponent's deck into what is a must counter and what isn't.
Mm-hmm.
And against the scam matchup, you are happy to go down 2 cards against being scammed on turn 1, and there can only be a couple of other cards that you absolutely need to answer. One of which I think is Fable the Mirror Breaker.
Yeah.
That card is, while not like insane card advantage or like doing anything absurd, its value that it's bringing to the game is very powerful. And so, like, not only does it let you filter your hand, it lets you make copies and be very aggressive later in the game. And so that card is kind of a sleeper against control. And Chase, having as much experience, you don't have the level of experience without, having a foiled out deck like that. But
yes.
But you really, really need to have an understanding of like what you need to counter, what you can take, what can stick around to wait for a Supreme Verdict, and what can't. And as long as you can kind of like take those priorities where they need to go, matchups can become a lot simpler. But sometimes very rarely is control an easy deck to play. And so if you need to make the decisions in which I need to counter this, or if I don't need to counter this, it rarely is control like a real brain off deck.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you find it, wow, Hero of Dominaria, I haven't seen him in a while.
Which will be castable off Ragavan.
Oh Lord, that is really bad. And like I was just saying, like, Ragavan is not that large of a threat against control in the very early game, but if it starts to get away from you, kind of how it is right now, that can become a mainstay. And that's kind of the reason why, here's Hero of Dominaria right here. Control staple for many years, and then, like we talked about, a lot of these cards are getting pushed out. We see all of the cards in Tyler's deck having the potential to just get away from the game because of the nasty level of efficiency. A lot here. There you go. Counter the Teferi. Counter your own spell, says Tyler.
Yep.
He has to. You cannot let that resolve without having like a leyline binding in play.
I mean, scam with a Teferi
and,
Hero of Dominaria
like,
sounds...
We're at like turn 6 here. Tyler has resolved 1 spell.
But that's all he's needed.
Yeah, he's resolved one spell. Chase is at 12 life already. He had to counter his own spell. That's kind of the power of these this scam deck. It puts you in a position where it's like, all right, I'm only going to counter the important stuff, and then one of these little baby things can just run away with the game, like Ragavan is here. Obviously, it's not over, but we will see shortly. So 4, 5,
That's
4
gonna be a
mana.
grief.
Gonna cast a grief. Hard cast it. There's another counter spell.
Counter spell.
Cool. Untaps.
Yeah, I think Scam is where it wants to be at the moment.
Absolutely.
Instead of going for this like fairly aggressive line.
Yeah, applying small
force you to have it
incremental-
in the open area.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just be patient, get there, hard cast those pitch elementals so that
Yep.
you're only going 1 for 1 when
Yep.
your opponent has the counter spell.
Yeah, and putting yourself like just chipping in for incremental damage, like over time. Like control is never going to close the game out and kill you very fast. These days, they used to be able to do like secure the wastes and things like that. But it's
Ragavan
been
is finally going to get answered
long
with
gone
the
since
subtlety, although Lightning Bolt answers subtlety.
lightning bolt for subtlety. Gonna take 2. Gonna get another trigger off of Ragavan. Down to 8 for Chase.
Oh, sorry.
A shock down to 13 for Tyler. What could we have here?
Could be a Fury. Could be another Grief.
It is another grief. Do we have another counterspell? We do not. Okay, so we see Kahira, Teferi, Landline Binding, and Supreme Verdict. Supreme Verdict is the take.
Pretty easy take, I think.
I think so too. Now, obviously, Leyline Binding is something that's going to be able to pop off of one of these creatures. Can we rip it? So,
Yeah.
luckily, I think a Teferi is going to be the pick here. You're just going to cast it, tick up, draw the card, untap, be able to have that Leyline Binding mana available. Let's see. Unless there's something else in Chase's hand here. This looks like a land.
Yeah, you do have to take the verdict there, but Chase is left with this Teferi. This is going to be a great, card advantage engine to counteract this hand disruption from the grief.
And I think the grief has already done its done its work.
Yeah.
If Chase puts this this Teferi into play, which we see here, got a plus, gonna be able to untap 2 lands, gonna cast the Leyline Binding probably. I don't know if Tyler can ignore the Teferi. All right, here is an Orcish Bowmaster. Gonna go upstairs, hit Chase for 1 down to 7, then hit Chase for 1 again down to 6. We have to hit a Leyline Binding off. We have to use this Leyline Binding now on the grief. It is a 3/2, right?
Yeah.
Right. Chase keeps eyeing this card. I don't know what this is.
I think this might be the card that was drawn off Teferi.
Okay. There you go.
So
Okay.
we see
Hollowed Fountain. Does he shock?
Shocked in, yeah.
Shock, untap. What are you doing with 3 mana here? Oh, I bet he drew a counterspell. He probably drew like Archmage's Charm or something. Something for 3 mana.
So everything
Big
comes in.
damage.
Right,
3.
so
Why does he
binding.
pay 3 for it? Oh, he doesn't have the 4th color of mana.
Okay.
So he only has 3 colors. It costs 2 remaining as far as the 5, so 3
But that's
total.
still still 5 damage coming in.
Yeah, I think he's just dead. Okay.
That's it, yeah.
That's going to be game 2. Going to Red Black Scam. Showing how that... Oh, there it is. NPR, Cryptic Command. Rip.
Ah, that's gorgeous. The textless.
Yeah, one of my favorites. Big Dragon Claw. Anyway, thank you guys for turning into this match. I think we might take a little break here.
Yep.
We can swing back. Hopefully we'll either get you guys a backup match or
Might be us.
see you guys